Hey, fellow riblets, it's me, Tom from Target Prime Rib. I hope everybody's doing pretty good. This is a pretty special day for me for two reasons. One, as you guys know, it is my birthday, 53 years. And two, because I got my special guest, Russ Mitchell from Homesick, Buckeye. He is my targeted guest here today on Chewing the Fat. And he's gonna tell his story and tell us a little bit more about him. And without further ado, I'm going to give the mic to Russ, and whether he wants to sing or whether he wants to tell his story, whatever he wants to do, it's all up to him. So, Russ?
Well, it's not up to me. It's your birthday. It is your channel. It's your platform. No, no, no.
Well,
It's not up to
this
me.
is my birthday gift to
Yeah.
myself, having you on my channel. So,
Well, I hope things get better for you, brother. That's all I can say, man. I keep working, man. Things will get better. You'll turn this thing around. If it,
yes.
side of 50 is having me around, man. Whew, boy, listen. Let's just have a word of prayer for our brother Tom, man. Let's just, no, man. Listen, I'm grateful and thankful that you would have me on your channel. I'm always grateful and thankful that people are interested in what I'm doing and like what I'm doing. So happy to be here, man, and honored to be here on your birthday. So we show up and do what we do, brother. That's what it is. So, but my story. Listen, I never feel really comfortable sharing my story. I don't feel like it's. I honestly don't feel like it's really that shareable. My story is still being written. That's what I always tell people when they say, "Oh, tell us your story." Well, my story is still being written. I'm still under construction. I still look like the before and after picture. That's what I say. And, it is what it is, man. We all have our crosses to bear. But what I try to do, my contribution to the family is not a great story, some great, mine is to hopefully bring smiles and laughs to people, and joy to people, and that's what I try to do, and share this message because it is a message. Even if I haven't got it perfect, even if I haven't done everything I want to do, it doesn't matter. People need to hear it. People need to see it, and we need to share it. And that's really what it's about. I tell everybody, I don't want anybody to be like me. I want people to be better than me. I want people to do more than me, and I will be here to encourage you through it. And that's my philosophy, and that's how I roll.
There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I think a lot of us have a story to tell, but not everybody has as much of a story that we would like to think. But I mean,
Yeah,
you've been in this community for quite a while, so at
yeah,
least compared to me, you've been in this community for quite a while.
yeah. It's going on 3 years now, and it's been really wonderful. And I need the community, man. Listen, look at me. I need the community. The community. It's you know, uh, people think I do the show for them. I do my Tuesday show for me. Okay,
Right.
I really do, man. I need the family, the community. It helps me keep my batteries charged up. It helps me, just kind of brings me back, to what's important and that sort of stuff. And yeah, that's the long and short of it for me. Is yeah, I need the family, and hopefully I can give as much to the family as I get from the family.
Which is a good thing. Yeah. So, so this is cool. I got a lot of people here in the chats.
Love it.
Um, I haven't got any questions yet, but I'm going to start from the beginning real quick and just name off the people that have joined us. The first person in was Sandy Blythe, telling us that she's going to be here. So I was very worried because I thought she was going to be over there. I didn't think she was going to be here. And Don Strunger is here. Hey, Don. Sorry if I mispronounced your last name. And Lori Wetzel is here. Welcome, Lori. Thank you for coming. I appreciate that.
Love it.
Jiffy is here.
Jiffy, that's great. Listen, I can't believe it's 4 o'clock. Yeah, she's probably just recovering from Friday night, you know,
Yep.
What's
And Broken Carnivore Kelly is here.
Kelly? My man Kelly. Love
There
Kelly.
you go. And then Lisa Carnivore Whisper is here.
Love that. Carnivore Whisper. Carnivore Whisper.
And then Jonathan, our favorite carnivore muscle, is here.
Love that. Love that. That's it. Now, see, did he have some health problems or something? I remember.
I believe so. Yeah.
Hopefully he's
So Jonathan, I do thank you for coming here. Maybe later on, if you want to join the party version later on, if you want to come on and say hello, that'd be great. I'm going to have an open forum, at least as much as I can. I'm still using my phone, so it's only so much I can do. Um, and then we have Miss Laugh a Lot. So I'm guessing that she laughs a lot.
Yes, love
And
that. Love that. We do that too.
either that or it's one of those like oxymorons where it's like the opposite
Yeah.
of what you are.
Yeah,
You know?
she's depressed. She's on depressed.
Something tells me though that she does laugh a lot.
Yeah.
And then in the middle of a forest, Jerry is here. Hey Jerry, how you doing? And her husband actually has the same birthday as me.
Oh,
So happy birthday to your husband, Jerry. I think you said his name was Jack. So happy birthday to Jack. Unless I got it wrong, then don't tell Jack happy birthday. Um, and then Scooby the dog just joined us. Let me see who else. Um, uh, Juliet Carnivore Edens is here.
love it.
Josephine is here. D. Leith is here.
Wonderful.
And I'm sure you know at least 90% of these people. Oh, is
Yeah.
Lizzie just joined?
Yeah.
So
A lot of the families there, a lot of the Tuesday night folks, and a lot of the
yeah,
community folks there. Glad to see everybody. Glad that you guys are hanging out with us today. Hopefully, we'll have a little fun and do what we do.
yeah, and they're all wishing me a happy birthday. So thank you guys for that. I do appreciate it. Today is if you guys only knew how special today is for me, you would understand why I'm doing all this. So excuse me. So I'm trying to think. So, so are you going to be doing any special videos soon or anything? You don't have to tell me what they are, but just anything
No,
going on?
listen, man. I really, life gets in the way of my YouTube ambitions, man. I just have a lot of things going on, and it's just hard. I just do. I do the Tuesday night show for sure. I'll always do that as long as people want to see that and hang out. We'll do that, and then I just do videos as I have time and as I get inspired or something
Okay.
inspires me that way.
Well,
And
it's probably a good thing if you really think about it. It doesn't sound like it, but I mean, if you're
yeah,
that busy, it's
yeah.
like, okay, I have a lot on my plate, and there's just some things like, at least it shows that your life isn't stagnant.
Oh
Um,
no, no, I got plenty of things going on there. It's just and then also, for me, it's if I have something to say, I'll say it. I'm not one of these folks. People have said to me, you should have a membership," and I'm like, "What? I wouldn't charge anybody for what I do on this. This, what?" I said, "I ought to pay them to watch me." I'm like, I'm, I don't and with that memberships and with those groups, it comes pressure to do content. And I don't ever want to feel that pressure to do content. I really, I'm a free spirit that way. I go where the wind blows. If I feel like saying something, I say it. If I don't feel like saying something, I don't. I don't ever want to just come on and just say something just, oh my gosh, I got to make a video today because I have to do a video every day. That's just not me. Same way with the Reverend. Like people will say, oh, you should do the Reverend video. I do the Reverend videos when I feel the spirit of the Reverend. Like I could just
right.
come out and do something. I could just come out every day and do something in the Reverend's voice, but I don't know. I have to do the character. I kind of have to be in the spirit and kind of feel the energy of it. Otherwise, I could just regurgitate the same things over. But I try not to do that. I try every time it comes out. I want it to be something new, something different, something interesting and funny, as opposed to, and I think it's more special when it doesn't happen. If I did a Reverend video every day, I just think people would get tired of it. Part of the reason why people like it is because I don't do one every day, or even every week.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that. I think it would lose its charm, basically.
Yeah.
So let's
So
see. Lizzie is asking a question. Homesick Buckeye, sing happy birthday at the end of the show. You do not have to do that. So,
well, actually, I
I
do.
don't want the voice. I
I'm
just
I'm, I'm afraid of Lizzie. She is a lot funnier than she looks, and so plus she's one of my faves, and so listen, I'm a man of the people, so it's not a problem. Now,
Yeah,
singing,
I make this. My sister always made fun of me for it. Like whenever somebody sings me happy birthday, I always make this weird face. So,
yes,
so now you're probably going to want to sing it even more just to see the face. So,
same to me, brother.
so this is cool. So okay, so you've been carnivore for about 3 years, you said, or you're more keto. Are you more
No,
keto? Or are you
no,
carnivore?
no. I've been, I'm not. I always say I'm not as carnivore as some. I do season with vegetables from time to time, and that sort of thing. I just try to be honest. I can certainly consider myself carnivore. I've got vegetarian family and vegan family that'll tell you I'm definitely carnivore, and I don't
Right.
play the semantic games. But I just always want to be transparent and authentic, and just let people know what I'm doing. So but
What
yeah,
did Forrest say? He says if you're like 70% meat
yeah,
eating, then you're pretty much
yeah.
carnivore. So
Absolutely, absolutely. And I'm more than that. I'm 85%. So that's why I say, but other people don't see it that way. And so it's like if I talk about I had some cauliflower rice or I put some onions and peppers in my ground beef, or I get the emails or that's not carnivore. That's all that stuff. So and the other thing too is in my personal life, I'm different than in my YouTube life. So, because my YouTube life is evangelism, I want as many people to see it, to hear it, to be part of it as possible. And in my experience, people really, you get a lot of hard no's when you start talking about carnivore. You just get a lot of people like, that's crazy. I'll never do that. My doctor says that's harmful to me, blah, blah, blah. It's just, and I don't want that. I don't ever want to get the hard no. I want people to ask more. Well, tell me more. Or what is
right.
that? Oh, I've heard of that. Or well, that sounds interesting. So I start out with a more of a educational, teaching people about carbs, teaching people about how their bodies work, teaching them about the medical establishment and how they get paid when we're sick. And I try to work them into that, and then as they get comfortable with that, working more towards the carnivore kind of thing because let's face it, and I say it all the time, most people are not going to be, carnivore diet as we know it. I think most people like some variety in their diet. I
Right.
think most people like some vegetables and things like that. I think just most people aren't going to do it. And so, and I know a lot of carnivores who wish they didn't have to do it. A lot of the people that are lion diet and that they really have to do it because of different allergies and different reactions they have to things, and they wish they didn't have to do it. So again, that's when I'm in public and stuff. That's why it's the keto cookout. It's not the carnivore cookout. I talk about ketogenic living. I want as many people as possible to hear this message and improve their health. But in my personal life, I'm pretty carnivore. And I think, I look at people like Dr. Nelson or Dr. Barry or Hampton and those, and they're kind of the same way. I mean, they're very carnivore in their personal life, but when they're dealing with their patients and dealing with the public, you know, they'll tell you, hey, if you like a few vegetables, eat a few vegetables. You like a little fruit, eat a little fruit. Keep the main thing, and that's your carbs low, your proteins and fats high, um, and that's the way. That is the proper human diet.
Right. No, I agree. I totally agree with that. Um, like I was kind of I didn't go into the temptation, but today they actually have, and with today being today. they have a thing downstairs at the candy shop that I live above. They have a thing called Cake Slice Saturday, and
Hmm.
where they give you a small slice of cake for like a cup of coffee for like $6, and I'm not gonna lie, I was a little tempted, but I said to myself, I said, you know what, my A1C is still not where I want it to be,
Yeah.
and so I don't really want to have it at this time. So a couple days ago, I bought myself a boneless ribeye, and that was my cake.
Yeah. That.
But even if I did have it, I don't feel that I'd be like breaking any boundaries. I'm still going to be carnivore.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah,
Listen, I tell people all the time, I eat what I want. Period. I'm a grown man. Nobody's going to tell me what to eat, what I can't eat. I see people like, oh, can I eat this? Can I eat? Is that okay? You can eat whatever you want. But I can tell you that what I want to eat has changed as I've
right,
learned more and grown more. I don't want to eat those certain things anymore. I don't want to drink certain things anymore. But flipping that on its 180 degrees, the world doesn't stop turning when you decide that you want to live, a ketogenic life, whatever level that is. All your favorite restaurants are still open. All your favorite recipes that your grandma made and your mom and your aunties make, or what, they're still around. Okay,
right,
all the memories and all the family gatherings and all the tailgate parties this time of year. The world keeps turning, and you're trying to get healthier and get better and these things, but all these things are so you got to, at some point, realize you are a human being. You're not a robot. You're not a machine. And some people are stronger than others.
yeah,
That's just how that's. I say it. I tell. I know lots of people that quit smoking. And they quit smoking cold turkey. Just no more. Cold turkey cold turkey is for sandwiches. Okay. If I was a smoker, I would need the patch and the gum and a witch doctor and a seance and more patches and more gum
right,
and an occasional cigarette. That's me, and I would get there eventually, and I believe I would win in the end, but it's going to be a 15-round slugfest. That's the story of my life. And so, you go in and you just fight and you don't quit. You don't give up. You just battle it every day. You do the best you can. Try to minimize the damages when there are damages, and just live to fight another day.
yeah.
And
That's
take the
true.
small wins. Take the small wins, take the small victories wherever you can get them, and keep yourself positive. Get with the community, whatever you need to do to keep your mind positive and keep yourself in a good place. Don't beat yourself up. Pick yourself up and
Yeah,
find a way to keep going.
yeah. No, I totally agree with that. I mean, today I experienced a pretty good win. I mean, I had one loss. I always like misjudged the distance that I was walking, so it ended up all this time I wasn't really walking the amount that I thought I was. But today, I actually did walk a lot more. Normally, I would just walk one time around the track, either a medium amount or the full amount. And it's about the full amount is about 4 football fields, I would say, maybe five, around the whole thing, So I wasn't really sure how far that was. So I always thought it was about at least 2 miles, 2-3 miles for that. But I wasn't sure. Now I'm finding out it's not that long. But today I actually walked around 4 times. Never done that before.
Yeah,
Haven't done that. And
that's
I did about almost 6,000 steps today. I wish I
yeah,
could do 6,000 miles. That'd be excellent. But
yeah,
six
yeah,
thousand steps, you
yeah.
know,
That's
and
great.
it's a
Yeah,
cool thing.
yeah,
So that to me is a big win. But I've had small wins too, and you do. I agree that you have to focus on the small wins, because you focus on only the things you're not getting, you know, you're you're never going to really embrace what you're doing. My
yeah,
mom did the same thing. She didn't lose any weight, and I'm sure you heard the story, but she never lost weight, and because of that, even though she was walking up and down the stairs, and right before that, she was falling, like she would fall all the time, and she had like
Yeah.
very, like all of a sudden, it was keto, it wasn't even carnivore. She was like walking up and down the stairs, she was walking around the park a lot better for like those couple, 2, 3 months that she was on keto, but she never lost weight. And that was her why. That was her reason of doing it in the first place. So since she wasn't losing the weight, she wasn't looking at the other wins,
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
agree, you have to look at the small wins.
Yeah. Yeah. You just have to control what you can control, and you have to find a way to come to peace with the things that you can't control. You
Right.
can't control how much weight you lose, when you lose weight. And yes, unfortunately, I guess unfortunately, I don't know, but people um, quantify their success with weight loss. That's just what they do.
Yeah.
Uh, and when people look at you or hear you talk or whatever, that's just the first thing that comes to their mind is, well, he hasn't lost any weight, or he hasn't lost a lot of weight or enough weight. But like you said, they have no idea of the other things that have changed in my life for the better, and how much of my life I've gotten back. They don't know my blood work. They don't know. I mean, they don't see all the positive things, and that's fine. Those people, if they're judgmental or if they're mean or whatever, I have the soul of a comedian. You can't hurt my feelings. I don't have any. So, that kind of stuff doesn't bother me at all. You just, like I said, you keep focused on the main thing, and that is, just each day waking up, trying to get through the day, and try to help somebody else get through the day. That's
I
really,
totally agree. Yeah, I totally
yeah,
agree. And so many of them, so many people do focus on the weight loss.
yeah,
It's sort of bad. They don't. I think when you this is my opinion. I think when you fully become like where you really get to carnivore zen, I guess you could call it. I think you realize that weight loss isn't necessarily the all that beats all. And
absolutely. But it's the only thing that people can see. Like if I could have a computer chip imprinted in me with a little LCD screen with my A1C and fasting insulin right here on my
oh
forehead.
yeah,
You walk around and people be like,
right,
oh, 4.8 and 9. Oh, that's not so bad. He's not, yeah, he's healthier than we thought. And then you got some big, beefy muscle guy, and he's like, oh, 7 and 23. Oh, yeah, that guy there's
yeah,
a heart attack waiting to happen. But
yeah,
people
I
can't see
agree.
that. People can't see, your blood. They can't see your muscle mass and your bone density and the other things like that. All they can see is, what you look like. And to them, you look unhealthy.
Yep.
So, it's
So
just,
yeah, it's funny. I just did a video. I don't know if you saw it or anybody else saw it, but it was a short and it was showing what I looked like 10 months ago
yeah.
to now, and I didn't even realize the difference until I put it together. I was like, because when you put something like when you look at something by itself and you look at some, it's like you really still can't tell until you literally put them
Yeah.
side by side.
Yeah.
And so we got a few people in the chats. So obviously we have Aaron Booby Goats here because I mentioned her
Oh,
name.
hey,
And then Gary No Slow is in the chats. And then we have our friend Louis Latito is here in the chats. And Louis asked me if I need any help with the chats, let him know. So Louis, this is my way of letting you know that if you can help me, great. Um, and then Josephine C. I think did I mention her before? I'm not really sure. So if I did, I'll mention you again. If I didn't, she's here as well. So you got quite a few people in here.
love it. It's great. The more the
So
merrier.
Lewis is. I don't think you really have to come on the thing, Lewis. Um, I think the screen just automatically does that, allows him to come on. But it's just the two of us, so he's in the background doing
This
his
is
little
cool.
thing. He's one of my moderators, that's why he has the wrench.
Yeah.
So
Thank you
I
very
found out that I'm not very good with the chats. So I found out that I have a couple of moderators. Papa Carnivore is also a moderator. So
Yeah. I haven't seen him lately, man. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I made him grumpy. I haven't seen him the last couple of weeks. He's all right. Shout out to my man Pete.
I just
He's
talked to him earlier today, so he's
oh,
doing
we're
well.
good. Yeah, we're good. He must maybe I think Mitch does a stream on Tuesdays or something. Maybe he's over there. I don't know. But
Not Tuesday night. He doesn't. Mitch does his nighttime and Thursdays.
mhm.
But he was on last. He was on that like 2 weeks ago Tuesday on Juliet's channel.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. No, listen. There's so many great people. I don't, people have said it to me. Oh, he's doing. I don't view any of this as competition or anything. That's ridiculous. I want everybody to go wherever they feel comfortable, wherever they have a good time, wherever they're getting information that they think is important. Yeah, yeah. There's so many great people, so many great channels. Not including this one, but there's others. And I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
and Louis just put on the in the front for you to sing to me for my birthday at the end of the show.
Oh,
So.
you know.
He doesn't know it was already put up there.
Oh, as soon as I just found out Russ the singer extraordinaire. Well, compared to Tom, yes, I am.
Yeah, I don't claim to be a, I don't, even though I sang in the Kermit's voice, I don't claim to be
Yeah.
a,
Yes,
you know,
he's a Muppet sensation. That's right.
Yep, and I am. So, and I just want to shout out to Jonathan, Carnivore Muscle. He actually just bought me a coffee. So thank you for that, Jonathan. I appreciate that.
It says you missed his question. I think. Oh. Well,
Is
the
that the
class.
question right there? I can't see it on my, oh yeah. What are your plans for your channel for the rest of the year? Um,
You need
if
some
you're,
binoculars or something. You need
are
some
you talking to
binoculars or
me,
something.
Jonathan? Or are you talking to Russ? Um,
We can get you a pair of binoculars, man, if you need to see.
well, just like like when it comes up on the on my computer, I'll turn it around so you can see. When it comes on that, I can see it fine.
Yeah.
When it's on the phone, it's about this tiny. So
There might be a
you would
setting
need binoculars too.
might be a setting over there. You might be able to make it bigger. I don't know, but either way,
Maybe I could borrow your glasses or something. Maybe that would help me. So,
yeah. No,
just
just
hand them over to the screen. That's all.
yeah,
So,
yeah. Tuesday nights cookout, cookout Tuesday nights, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. That's the only thing that you can guarantee that I would do. I do videos from time to time, and I do some reverend stuff from time to time. I would like to maybe do some interviews from time to time as well. It's just one of those things. Scheduling them, doing them, editing them, all that stuff just takes time and stuff. So, um, we'll see. When the spirit hits me, we put something together. But you can count on Tuesday nights, 8:30 Eastern, for the fun live stream, and I will do that until the cows come home.
and um, and Jonathan, if you're asking me, my plans are to basically just do mostly my lives with interviews. I have a few holes in up until January 1st, and I'll do a few like pop in lives, I guess. But that's pretty much. And to sprinkle a few shorts, a few videos here and there. But other than that, I'm not sure what I'm going to do after the new year. My last interview is going to be actually on January 1st with Jen Mann. So I want to fill in the holes first before I actually start going after the new year. But that's actually going to be my carniversary. So I may actually take a hiatus and just rest a little bit. So, but I don't know. And I'm just gonna wait.
Well,
And Dennis asked me when are the cows coming home? LOL, just kidding.
yeah, I don't know.
Janet, you are funny.
My cows ain't coming home. They ran away. They are gone, lost and gone forever.
And Rick says the most fun on a Tuesday night.
Well, Rick's
Yeah.
a big part of that. Rick and Laura Russell help me out with the show. They alternate and keep me between the lines there. Glad to have those guys. Yeah, we just try to have fun and just fellowship, community, live stream. You can come on the stream, hang out with us. And yeah, that's about it. We
Yeah.
have no
I mean,
topic,
I
subject.
do two lives as well, and one of them is on Tuesday, but I made sure that it was before your show. So
I appreciate that.
for two reasons: one, because I enjoy your show, and two, because I enjoy your show. So
Well, there's one good reason. Well, at least you got one good reason. That's
it's like real estate. Like, what's the most important thing in
yeah,
real estate? Location, location, location.
you know.
No, we all try to support each other, right? As much as we
Absolutely,
can.
that's what it's about, man. It is definitely a family thing. I love being part of the family.
Josephine says that she's going on her 2 years coming up for next month. So
Love that.
congratulations,
That is
Josephine.
wonderful. That's wonderful. Congrats. Hang in
Yeah.
there.
Lewis is definitely helping me out with putting things in the chats. So thank you, Lewis. I appreciate that. You're making my life so much easier. So, um, so I'm trying to think. What? Sorry about that. He put in my name that he has me. So, thank you, Lewis. I appreciate that. He's showing how much power he has. He can use my my name. All right. So, um, Russ, love your channel, and Rick and Thomas and Mitch. Well,
Thank you.
we all love you. We all love you too, Jemmett.
Yes, thank you, beloved. Appreciate you.
Now, please don't call me beloved, okay? Just let you know.
Yeah, that's for my cuties, my keto and carnivore cuties, all my lovely low carb ladies out there, they're beloved dudes. Dudes are beloved too. We just don't have to say it. See, the ladies like to hear it.
Right.
The dudes,
I'm
we
sure
just
there's some guys that would love to hear it too, but I'm not one of them.
yes, yes. Those men are interior decorating and doing hair, and God bless them all. But we just give each other one of those, bro, those carnivore nods. Like, that's how, yeah, that's how we do it. We know what it means.
Okay. Thank you, Lewis, for putting my Buy Me a Coffee link into the chats. I appreciate that. So, if anybody, Lewis is on the ball. So, if anybody has any questions for Russ or for me, but preferably Russ, put QQQ in the chats, and ask away. It doesn't have to necessarily be carnivore.
My
Um,
life is an open book. Everybody knows everything about me. They don't have to. They don't. They don't have to ask many
that's
questions. They
true. That's
know
true.
all about. So, nobody's gonna learn anything from me. I say it all the time. If you're asking me a question about any kind of medical thing, man, you are scraping the bottom of the barrel. Because yeah, there are many better people than me to answer those kind of questions. Here's a common
Okay, so
question.
Lewis himself is asking a question. Russ, when is the next meetup?
Oh, probably Hack Your Health in November in Tampa. That's the
Okay.
next keto event. Now, there's so many different regional events and that. I know that Chris and Miriam have their site. I think it's Keto Events. I think Dr. Kiltz has on his site some type of thing where people can put meetups and different things. But there's so many small regional kind of meetups nowadays. But in terms of big events, I think November is the next one. I used to have Keto Palooza in October, but they did not have it this year. So Hack Your Health, Tampa, November the 15th, maybe something like that. It's like 2 weeks before Thanksgiving, I think. It was in Austin, Texas last year. It was really cool. It's a very, very big event. It's the largest one, I think, in the country, and it's huge. So the other ones are smaller. They had Keto Orlando in July, and other small meetups are 100 and maybe anywhere from 100 to 300 people. Hack is like 3,000 people or something like that. Yeah, it's like a
Okay. Yeah, I
uh,
think two things. One, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think Rick is going to be there.
yes, yes. I heard that through the grapevine, and he's
So
gonna.
that's got to be pretty exciting.
Yes, his first meetup of any type there, so he will.
Yep.
Uh,
And you can correct me on this, not you, Russ, but and I believe Lewis is going to be there as well,
love that.
if
Love
I'm
it.
not mistaken.
Yeah,
Lewis,
yeah.
you can, if I'm wrong, Lewis, you can correct me on that, but I think
Come
he's going
on,
to be a
come on,
lecture head.
come on, come on. It's the events are always great. It's a family affair. It's all love. There's people
He,
there
he
from
just confirmed it.
all different aspects of it. People, there's carnivore, there's keto, there's just anybody that's interested in ketogenic living. There's tons of. I mean, they have a huge vendors room with all kind of books and things of that nature. If you want to get your education that way, a lot of the docs, Dr. Valia, Dr. Kills, a lot of them have booths and stuff where they're there. Doing what they do. They have lots of speakers on all different types of topics. And then they have just a hangout area where people just hang out, and just socialize and that sort of stuff. So, yeah, it's great. I like the smaller ones a little better personally. It's more intimate. You have more time to talk to people, more time to talk to the docs and the speakers. Um, it's a little more difficult in the big events. There's lines, to talk to the doctors and different things like that. So you have to wait. It seems like you never get to talk to everybody that you want for as long as you want when you're in a big event like that. But it's still a lot of fun, and I'd encourage anybody to do it.
Yeah, no, I actually wouldn't mind going. It's a kind of a far walk for me, so that's the only reason why I
Yeah,
don't.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was, it's funny because of the tax, I was 50-50. I enjoyed it, but it was just so big. And so they were like, "Oh, you're going to go next year?" I'm like, I'm 50-50. This one just finished. Let me just finish this one. They're like, "Well, it's going to be in Florida next year." I'm like, "Oh, well, I might as well buy my tickets." So it's like 200 miles from me. So I will be there.
Jemmett is asking me if I have a live at 8 p.m. Yes, I do. So I hope to see you there. Yeah, I did a AI of me as a baby, so I thought it was kind of funny. But that's not actually what I looked like when I was a baby. I didn't have a beard when I was young, so you Carrie Mann kind of gave me that idea to do baby version of myself, so I just thought it was fun.
Yeah. Shout out to Kerry, the hardest working man. I swear,
Yeah.
man, I tell you, that guy there, he is in the air everywhere. I think he live streams every hour on the hour. It's like he is a busy guy.
So Carnivore Muscle is saying about how he's thanking Rick for saying about taking his pain, and
Yeah.
and Jonathan's saying that he would take everyone's pain if he could, and he started coaching some people for free. That he gets a bit fed up. That Thank you, Lois, for putting it on the screen. Makes it a little bit bigger. I started coaching for some people for free. I get a bit fed up with the misinformation these new carnivores are taught better than me complaining. That is true. Any way that you could help is always a good way,
What is it? What
Jonathan.
is that? You may elaborate on that. New information, the misinformation new carnivores are taught. Can you
Um,
elaborate on that? What
yeah.
kind of things is he talking about?
Um, yeah, I'm not really sure what he's talking about. So if you could elaborate a little bit on that to make it clear, that'd be great, Jonathan. I appreciate that. So I got two more people that just bought me a coffee. Lizzie bought me a coffee, so thank you, Lizzie. I appreciate the beautiful gesture. And it says here Gary C. Choma. So I'm not sure who Gary C. Choma is. I like to say it's no slow, but I don't really know what Gary's last name is. So I don't want to assume. So Gary, thank you. I appreciate that. And if you are no slow, just put in the chats that it is you. So I do appreciate that. And I appreciate the coffees. Thank you very much, guys. So So I hope you're having somewhat of a good time, being here.
Oh yeah, man, great. It's a Saturday. I think my Buckeyes are off today. I think they're on a bye week this week,
Okay.
and we're just hanging out here around the house doing a few things. And I was like, yeah, let's go and hang out with Tom. Yeah, anytime I can hang out with the folks, I'm all about it. It says fasting, priming, tracking calories, tracking ketones. Oh, gotcha. Oh, okay.
And we just got joined in um by
Oh,
Dustin Keto Simple,
my.
and it is no slow. So thank you, Gary, for the coffee. I appreciate that.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, I don't. You guys know me. Uh, if it helps you, I'm all for it. If it works for you, I'm all for it. I don't spend a lot of time criticizing and things like that. If there's something that I feel is really egregious, like something really out of bounds, I will talk about that idea or that concept. I don't talk about people's channels. I don't talk about people specifically. If I have a gripe or a grief about something, it's an idea or something like that. I don't. And I think everything works. Most everything works for somebody. And if priming helps you, I know plenty of people that have said that they benefited from it. So hey, God bless them.
Yeah.
Fasting, all kind. I mean, there's so many different variations of what we do, and that's part of the beauty of ketogenic living and even the carnivore diet. Some people drink coffee, some people don't. Some people like dairy, some people don't. Some people smoke cigars, some people don't. It's like, and everybody can have success, So again, I don't spend much time, on that. It's just my choice. Other people, if they feel it's important to them, then by all means, yeah, speak up on it or whatever. It's me personally. I try to just keep the main thing the main thing. Let people find their own way. Uh, you know, and that's
Yeah. I mean, well said. Definitely well said. And Julia, thank you for the compliment. I do appreciate that. And I mean, you're the one who decided to do your own channel and everything like that. I had nothing to do with that. So, um, but thank you again for the compliment, and thank you for the coffee too, Juliet. I appreciate that as well. As I appreciate everything that everybody does for me. I wouldn't have gone this far if it wasn't for the support of everybody, including the two people in this panel. So I do include myself in that too, because I think you have to be able to support yourself in these adventures. If you don't, then you never get anywhere.
yeah.
So, um, so Danny in Boston has joined us.
Hello there, Danny in
At
Boston.
least I guess BOS stands for Boston. I would
Yeah,
have to assume it does.
Yes, I would agree with that. You cannot assume it
I
could just
mean,
be us.
I can't see it standing for like Danny in like Massachusetts or something like that.
Listen, maybe it's Boss. Maybe she lives in Boss, Nebraska. I don't know. It's like she's like, I do not live in Boston. I live in Boss, Nebraska. We are 32 miles south of Omaha. It's like, no, I think she is in Boston, and
Yeah, she's confirming it too. So
yeah,
and
yeah,
she's doing the emoji of someone laughing. So I'm guessing she's smiling and laughing. So
she
that's good.
is in Boston, revolting. She's doing a one-person protest against the baked beans. Yeah.
Boston, Massachusetts, as Tom knows.
Yes.
Okay. Um, Jerry saying, "Call in Golly." I haven't watched in a while. Rick, oh my. So I guess
Yeah,
Jerry's talking to Rick right now.
yeah. Rick has a call-in show, man. You can call in and
Yeah, no, I know. I have his number on speed dial.
there you
I
go.
haven't called in a while, but I have his number. Like literally, I can just push the button and just call right in. I don't have to dot. I don't have to like wait for him to put it up on the screen. I just have it automatically. You know, that's the one good thing about his what he does because I don't have to wait for you to put the link in for
Yeah,
StreamYard.
yeah, yeah.
It's like, can
Really,
you add it to the chat, please? I thought I did. Well, they took it out. Can you add it again? Just making fun of you a little bit. It's all good.
he loves that. He listen. That's why he comes on Tuesday with me.
Yeah, I mean Rick's a great guy. You know, he
Yeah,
really is. He's going to be on my. I forget what day it is. It's sometime in October. I think it's October 4th. I'm having Rick on, so which I'm looking very much forward to, and I hope that Milton makes an appearance. Um, Even though Milton probably won't do much because he has a contract not to. So.
yeah. Says when I do my show outside, I use the payphone. Yeah,
Well, you could probably like save a lot of money. Like, every time you use the payphone, you put a quarter in it, and after a while, it's like, boy, my lives are making me so much money.
yeah. I don't even know if they have payphones anymore now. Everybody's got cell phones. If they do, I guarantee it's got a credit card slot on it. You can slide your card in there.
Well, I I would have to say that they probably do at Rick's house.
Yeah, yes. It's just like the swap meet.
Actually, I don't have a payphone, and I don't know if there's a phone inside or not. But my sister actually has the booth that you'd see in Superman,
Mm.
um, like buried in her backyard. And I often like told her that I wouldn't mind having that. I mean, the thing is, it's super heavy, so to bring it to where I live and bring it up to the apartment probably would be a little problematic. But if she ever wanted to get rid of it, I would take it in a heartbeat because I have like a lot of these tchotchkes that I wouldn't mind turning into like kind of like this like big display cabinet. I thought that'd be kind of cool, especially with
Yeah.
my Marvel and DC collections that I have. Not that I have that much of a collection, but I could probably grow it if I needed to. but, um, but can you imagine bringing that? It's like 5,000 pounds. I don't think it would be
Oh
very.
yeah. Oh, they're very
Yeah.
heavy, man. What we did a play. I was a stage manager in my high school play, and we had I forget what we did, but we needed a pay phone as a prop. This is in 1986,
Okay.
and I went down to the local phone company and asked them like, "Hey, can I?" And they're like, "Yeah, people ask all the time for that kind of stuff. People want them for their houses and people want them for all kind of things. Yeah, come on down and grab one." I'm like, okay. So we went on. I went down. They gave me one, and we hooked it up and actually rigged it up to ring. It had wires and stuff, so we could actually make it ring and use it in the play, the school play.
That's funny. And Rick is saying that phone booths come apart. I wasn't sure about that, to tell you the truth. But if I know my brother-in-law, he probably would bring it fully intact, so we wouldn't have to worry about putting it back together again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
1982 called collect. That's right. How about 1972?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I think they had payphones up to what 2002 or something like that. Like when was the last payphone?
I'm pretty sure they still have them. They're just not.
In some areas, yeah, but I think they got rid. Like the mall I used to work at had a payphone, but they took them out.
They're just a
Um,
different form now. I would be willing to bet you they have
yeah,
payphones in different places and around. It's just a different format. You don't put change in it anymore. You probably use your phone or use something to pay. I don't know. But I'm sure the payphone in some iteration exists. I'm confident of it. There's some place somewhere where people will pay to make a phone call.
yeah.
I mean, you know, maybe in jails
And,
or something. I don't know.
and Dustin, I don't remember this, but I heard through the grapevine that payphones used to be a dime, let alone 25 cents and
Yeah,
25 cents. Yeah,
yeah. I think I think it depended on where you were calling. It could be a dime or it could be 25 cents or
yeah.
yeah. And you could put more than like you could put a roll of quarters in there. Like if you were talking to somebody and you're like you run out of minutes, you just keep plugging quarters.
Yep, just put it right there next to you and just keep on plugging in. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're absolutely right. And I mean, I know I'm not that old, but a lot of things kind of like changed pretty quickly if you think about it. And I remember two things I remember. Like working at a convenience store, you see all this stuff. And I remember when the regular candy bar was like 35 cents. You get
yeah,
a Milky Way or a Three Musketeer bar or Hershey's for like 35 cents.
yeah.
Were
I
they
remember
huge? No. But I
candy
remember being
soda
able
for a
to do that.
quarter. When I was in high school, they had a store like a carry out, and they had like a bank of soda machines, and you could get soda for a quarter, a can of soda. You know,
Yep.
so
Yep. And I also remember the newspaper when I was a kid about like 16, 17, and I worked. The newspaper was like 25 cents as
yeah.
well. And now that same I rang the newspaper up the other day. That same newspaper used to be 25 cents. It was $4.
I don't know who
It's
reads. I
like,
mean, I'm sure there's a senior citizen population that probably still reads the newspaper.
and,
I don't know.
yeah,
I mean,
that's the other thing they do, and that's something that confused me too. It's like usually things go up because of supply and demand, but there can't be actually that much demand.
yeah,
You know,
I get the circular. I check the circular every week looking for meat sales, but I
yeah, but
read the
all you have
paper.
to do really is just go online and just check it out. You don't even have to work
Well,
with searches.
all the papers have a digital paper now.
Yeah,
So, it's like the digital New York Times, the digital whatever. So it comes to your phone or you can log in or whatever and read it if you care to. But
yeah,
yeah,
and also too. That being said, I get circulars all the time in the mail, so I don't even have to buy a paper in order to get the circular. It's right in my mailbox.
yes. Sandy said, I see. Sandy said, I used to love the Sunday paper. Oh, that was an event in my household. The Sunday paper. I tell you another thing that I remember is like you could put money in the machine and you open up the machine and all the papers were in there. Like and it was an honor system. They just trusted you to grab one, but there were like 30 papers in there. So people put their money in the machine, open up, take one, and then close the machine up. And depending on what neighborhood you lived in, there were guys that
Hmm.
would go open it up for 50 cents, take all the papers out, and then sell the papers for a quarter.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, I don't know if that honor system paper thing
Yeah,
works.
I'm not really sure if that literally worked or not, but yeah. So,
Uh,
I mean, my first job was probably the newspapers. I was about 12 years old, and
mhm.
I had a paper route of actually the Sunday papers were more, and I needed help with my with the car. I was about 12, like I said, and I think it was about 80 papers I delivered on the weekday, and then it was about like 150 papers for Sunday. Because more people would get Sunday paper because that's all they would want.
Yeah,
And
yeah. My mom used to love to get. I used to get the sports page out of there,
mhm,
and my mom had the coupons. She was a coupon clipper, so she would she'd be clipping coupons.
yeah,
Yeah, I,
it was a whole different era back then.
yeah,
Oh, I mean to let me see, what did I just share? Remember the movie The Running Man? There was a scene where she is. What happened to my computer? Okay. There was a scene where she is digging for change in her purse to buy a soda from the vending machine for 6.50.
It's like I don't think the payphone as the old school could never work because nobody carries change anymore. When was the last time you had loose change?
I know.
I mean, it's like it's crazy when I think about it because, like I said, I remember my dad as a kid would come home and he would take his money in his wallet and stuff out and put it up on the dresser, and there'd always be loose change up there, at least until I got there. and, then the loose change was no longer loose or change. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was gone, and so yeah,
And
nowadays,
Dustin, I always have loose marbles. I don't have loose change, but
yeah,
just
yeah,
it's
yeah.
there.
I eat a lot of fat, and I have some loose things going on too. But I don't. I can't remember the last. The only thing I have some cash that I really only use for tips, and I haven't bought anything with cash. I can't remember the last time I went into a store and paid cash for anything, or I can't. I really can't remember. Um, like I said, the only time I have cash is if I'm going to the casino, or like I said, if I'm going somewhere where I know I'm going to have to tip, like a valet or something like that, in cash. Because even like I said, in restaurants and stuff, you tip, with your card. So it's yeah, and loose change, yeah, I can't remember the last time that somebody said, and here's your change, 1342.
Yep.
Those are
And I mean that
uh,
I don't know how sensitive this subject is or anything like that, but one of the things, like with the store I work at, obviously I'm a cashier, so I get a lot like having to count change and everything like that. And one of the topics that comes up with a lot of the customers is them getting rid of the penny. And
yeah,
my question to that is this, okay? And maybe I'm being naive, and if I am, I'm sorry, you know. But how are you going to be able to get rid of the penny? Because and there's a reason why I'm asking this question without raising taxes. Because all right, because like we're at 6%. So if you have something for $1, it's going to be $1.06. So there is the penny
because
right there.
well, they
You
either
know,
yeah, they either it's called breakage. They either will round it down or round it up. They'll either make it $1.05 or $1.10. They could do either one.
right? I mean the price of the item. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
I was actually thinking
But
like they would raise the tax to 10% because that would be the only way I can think of because then that would
no,
be
no,
an
no.
even.
No, they would do. It's called breakage, and it's
Okay.
interesting because they do that. And the reason I know this is because they do that in horse racing. Like if you go to the racetrack and you bet on a horse, it's going to be $2.10 or $2.40 or $2. It's always going to be an even number because they don't want to have pennies at the racetrack. So if you go to the window, so what they do is, and it actually is a moneymaker for them, because let's say I don't know if you know how it works, but For those who
No,
don't.
you're teaching me something right now.
Oh,
So that's good.
pari-mutuel is pari-mutuel wagering. So what it means is when you go out and you put $2 to win on a horse, because the racetrack gets paid when you bet, not when you lose or win. Unlike a casino, where they only make money when you lose. The racetrack makes money when you play. They could care less who wins or loses. So you go up and you put $2 to win on a horse. They take 20% of that and they put out, and that's their money, that's their profit. They take the rest of it and put it in a pool, and the winners split the pool. So if you have $2 to win on a horse and your horse wins, how much you win or the odds that you get are dependent upon how many winning tickets are out there, which is why the long shots pay less. There's less winning tickets. If you're the only one in a crowd that has a win ticket on that horse, you get the whole pool. But if half the crowd has a win ticket, the odds are going to be low, the payouts are going to be low because they're splitting the pool amongst 1,000 people. But what they do is when the computer calculates after all the bets are taken and the race has started, there's no more betting allowed once the race begins. The computer figures out how many people have a winning ticket for each horse and how much there will get if that horse wins. And it's never an even number. It might be $2.47 per winner, but they round it down to 240 and they keep the extra 7 cents. It's called
Mm,
breakage because they don't want to have pennies, be dealing out pennies at the racetrack. When you go to the racetrack, it's just quarters, dimes, and nickels, and that's all they have. Is they don't have pennies. So they would do the same thing. They would probably round it up because that's the government that we have. So if something was $1.07, it would be $1.10. And they would keep the extra 3 cents. But they could
right.
also but they could round it down if they wanted to. It's all computers, so you just basically say if something, if it's $2.06, well, make it $2.05.
Yeah. And
Which is
anyone call up in front of everybody. I'm sorry.
yeah, yeah,
Um, yeah. I mean, and that actually, I mean, because I didn't know about breakage. So
yeah.
my thought process was that because my thought process was if they, the only way they could probably do it is to raise it, like I said, was to raise the taxes because yes, they could lower the tax, but the chance of them lowering over raising is slim to
Yeah.
none.
Yes, but see
So,
what they would do. I can because we know how they are. They would tell you the tax is the same. They would say, "Oh, we're not going to raise the tax,
oh
but we
yeah,
don't
but
have
we all know
yeah,
bullshit when we see it.
we don't
So
have pennies anymore, so we'll have to round it up to the next dime." So they are effectively raising the tax, but they're telling you, well, no, it's still 6%. It's just that we don't have pennies anymore. So if something, if something is, $1.06. Well, that's one thing. But if it's $3.18 and they round it up to 3.20, who cares about the extra 2 cents? I mean, most people.
right.
How many times have you seen back when they were doing money? People just would leave the pennies. They used to have a thing, leave a
Oh, they do
penny.
that now. They do
Yeah,
that now.
like they give you your 2 cents back, and people just throw it in throw it in
Yep.
a bin there, and there's a penny in there in case you wanted to round up to the next, nickel or whatever.
Yeah,
So
I mean, I have so many people, it's mostly older people. Like if something's like 28 cents change, they're like, yeah, don't worry about the pennies. So I just give them a quarter.
yeah, yeah. I did this. I did the same thing years ago when I was in retail. We run out of pennies or something like, I just got to give them a nickel or whatever. It's not that big a deal. So yeah,
Yeah.
but like I said, it costs more to make it than it's worth. So why would you spend 3 cents to make a penny? I mean, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. So normally, but I wanted to make sure that I'm like valuing your time. Normally, I do these things for 2 hours. That's usually what I set it up for. But if you have anything, if you need to go if you can't stay or anything like that,
I'm here for the duration, brother. I'm here until the.
perfect, perfect.
That's right, man.
You know.
Unless you want me to leave, if you're trying to.
No, no, I just wanted to be
Hey,
courteous of
that's
your.
your way
I
of
just want to be courteous of your time. And believe it or not, you're the first person I asked that to because that's how much I respect you. So.
So that's how
Um,
much you want me to leave. That's what that's like. Hey,
no,
if you have somewhere else to be, go ahead and get there. It's not a
but I notice I notice like sometimes like when I'm on Zoom calls like Bell and that will be that to their guests like, hey, we value your time. If you want to get out of here, just let
yeah,
us know.
yeah. That's good. Yeah, that's the way of saying we're tired of talking to you people, but you pay us every month, so we can't really force you out of here. But
If you don't, if you want to get Dr. Baker, if you want to get out of here, yeah, feel
yeah,
free.
yeah, like
So,
I have somewhere, yeah, like I have somewhere better to be. Now, some of those other guys, yeah, Dr. Barry, yeah, he probably does have something else to do, but not me. It's Saturday. My team's not playing. I am here until the music stops playing.
and I'm not sure or not if you can put in the chats, but I think we might have lost Lewis. But I'm not sure because I'm noticing that as much as going on the screen. So every once in a while, just wave your hand, Lewis, if you're still here. Um, so let me just see.
Looks like Lewis is definitely here. Well, he waved.
Okay, I'm just saying.
I think he just insulted everyone in the chat. I do. It sounds like
Like
fight words.
there's a voice from beyond.
Yeah,
uh,
the chat's gonna revolt.
yeah, that's true. All right, so Jerry just asked. She goes, "Oops, I need that QQQ. That who as the first person who sang Pennies from Heaven and Go."
I am not familiar with the song, and I cannot answer that, so I am a
Yeah,
loser.
yeah, and I don't feel like googling right now. So,
Yeah, that's right.
Lewis, if you know the answer, just let us know. Okay.
Yeah, listen, Chat GPT has ruined all bar fights and trivia games. You can't even fight. You can't even argue now when you're out at the bar with your friends. It's like it's like Joe DiMaggio hit 542 runs. No, he didn't. Yes, he did. And then somebody's got it's right here on Chat GPT. Fight over. Yeah,
Ah, Dustin just answered it. Bing Crosby.
Crosby.
Oh, but you put a question mark. So are we sure it's Bing Crosby?
I don't know.
Uh,
Oh, she says ding, ding, ding. Uh,
okay.
right.
Okay.
She's calling you dingy. I don't know. She called you. Is that she calling you a name?
Yeah. She
That's
might be calling you a ding, ding, ding.
yes. Everybody's insulting everybody today.
Which is not very nice, Jerry. If that's the case. So, um,
Yes, that's short for dingbat. That's I think this is taking a turn for the worse in this room. I don't know.
I know, and Dustin's admitting he's a bit dingy.
Yeah, people are getting hangry.
Yes. So, so I was telling you my first job as a newspaper. What was your actual first job that you ever did as a kid?
My first job that I got a paycheck from was McDonald's, like many Americans. And in fact, interesting story, my McDonald's was the first McDonald's in the country to have the clamshell grill, which I don't know if they still have those. I guess they do. This is 1984, maybe, or 85. And they always made the burgers on an open grill before that time, just like old school, like a diner, just a grill. But they came up with this new invention called the clamshell grill, which basically was a big, gigantic George Foreman grill kind of thing. And so it was digital, and the top came down, and it had these big Teflon non-stick sheets that went over the surface of it, which was a goofy thing. And you would close it down, and we had quarters and regs. Quarters were the quarter pound burgers, and the regs were just the little smaller burgers. And you could set the grill for whatever size patties because you couldn't put them together. The grills, yeah, we had four of them, and we kept one or two for the smaller ones and one or two for the bigger ones. You put the burgers on there, clamp it down, hit the button, and it would open up on its own when the burgers were done. and it was revolutionary. And it was the first store in the country to have the clamshell grills in production. They had tested them, I guess, and so yeah, that is where I started my. And I made $3.35 an hour. That was minimum wage during that time,
Mm-hmm.
and I loved it. It was great. I loved working at McDonald's. Had a lot of fun, and I
Yeah,
ate.
my first fast food job was technically Burger King, but I
Yeah,
only worked there for 1 week because they were stupid. Um, I didn't know what I was doing. My grandfather one day said, go get a job, and I was 13 years old, so I was 1 year too young. I was about to turn 14. And when I went to apply for the job, they just hired me. They didn't have me get any working papers or anything. I had no idea what I was supposed to be doing. So that's up to them to tell me what to do. And one day they go to me and they're like, "Oh yeah, we have to let you go." So I'm like, "Okay, what? Like, did I make a mistake? What did I do?" Like, "Oh, well, you're too young to work here." I said, "You hired me." Like I'm looking at them like they're the dumbest people in the world, and to this day, I still feel like they were pretty dumb. But then a few weeks after I turned 14, I got a job. I don't know if you remember Roy Rogers.
the chicken place.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I worked there from
yeah.
like
That's
14
an East
to 16.
Coast. That's an East Coast thing. I
Yeah.
went to my first year of college was in the D.C. area, and they had Roy Rogers there. They didn't have him where we were from, but
Okay.
yeah, we had a lot of fun there. The people were cool, and man, did I eat a lot of nuggets. I
Yeah.
was a nugget master.
Um, and then Rick says his first job was at the Miller Way Nursery. Okay. And someone, I think it was Lisa Carnivore Whisperer, said that she worked for the Ponderosa.
There's a name from the past. That's an
I
old
know.
steak and buffet restaurant. I don't know if they have those anymore. It wouldn't surprise me if they still have them in some small part of the country
Oh,
somewhere.
I'm sure. I'm
It's like,
sure.
yeah, it's like every once in a while I'll be driving somewhere out in the middle of nowhere and I will see a restaurant. Like one time I don't remember where I was, and I saw a Lee's Famous Recipe chicken. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I remember my grandmother used to, she liked the Colonel now. She was all about KFC, but if if we were going past the Lee's Famous Recipe, she would get that. That was like her second choice. She didn't want to drive across town to KFC if we were going right past Lee's Famous Recipe. But yeah, I'm like, my goodness, I can't believe that they are still open. And another place, I shouldn't admit this on open on in the YouTube streets to just give fodder for all the haters, but when we were kids, we used to eat at Arthur Treacher's Fish and Chips, and they went out of business. But there's a in Columbus, right on Fifth Avenue in Grandview. It used to be an Arthur Treacher's Fish and Chips, but when they went out of business, the franchise owner, kept it going. It even has the old sign out there, but it's Marino's seafood now. But everything was the same. All the food, all the everything. And man, I haven't eaten there in probably 20 years. And so a friend of mine, when I went home, I didn't. But a friend of mine I was talking to a friend of mine from home, and I'm like, man, I'm gonna go by Marino's and get a piece of fish. Of course, it's deep fried or whatever. But I didn't ended up not doing it. But I'm like, wow, that's crazy. I would have bet that they'd been closed, but they are still thriving.
Yeah. And a lot of the Arthur Treachers are combined with the KFC. If you ever notice, they're like kind of
That's
like
Long, no. That's Long John Silver's. I think is
I think there's
combined.
some Arthur Treachers too. It's both. I've seen some Long John Silver's and I've seen some Arthur Treachers.
Really,
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
never seen an Arthur Treacher's in
Yeah.
business.
You know where they have one is well, you probably don't know, but in there's an outlet thing in Jackson where Great Adventure is,
Hmm.
and in New Jersey, and right there in the outlets they have like a food court, and they have a KFC slash Arthur Treacher's, right? right
Huh.
in there.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna Google that when I get off of here and see if there's.
I mean, probably not very often, but
I thought they went out of business 20 years ago.
no, they have, and I think too. There's a not if not with KFC. There's something with Nathan's hot dogs.
Yeah,
Some kind of fish.
they have Long John Silver's and AW root beer and like some different things together, but I've never seen Arthur Treacher's.
But you know what though? I mean, think about it. Like that. That doesn't mean that they don't have that they still have freestanding stores. Like they're not standing on their own. You know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, you know. Um, so someone, I guess, Gemma is the pennies from heaven winner. Okay. I'm not sure what she said, but I'll believe it. And Terry Sue joined the chats. It looks like Lewis. I don't. Oh, I actually paused the so we're not like moving. Let me just see if I can. Sorry about that. Sometimes you hit a button, you don't realize you hit the button. Um, so when it pops up, I'll read it because it's gonna the this is always a little delayed unless it already popped up. I don't know. But I guess Jem had said
Louis
and my,
Prime.
my eye was so bad. And Terry Sue, welcome. And I have a couple more coffees that were bought. One from an anonymous person. So thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Anonymous. And Lisa, which I'm guessing is Lisa Carnivore Whisperer. Because
Yeah,
that's the only Lisa I can think of that's here. So thank you guys for all the coffee. That's I'm very appreciative of that. I really am. And I didn't have to. I didn't put it in. Oh, Lewis did. I'm sorry. Lewis put it in, and I got a shout out to Lewis. Lewis, you're doing an excellent job, and I really appreciate you helping me. You don't know how much. So, thank you. Um, Terry Sue says she never worked for a fast food place. That she was a cocktail waitress for about a month, and I totally hated working with drunks. Luckily, my husband made me quit. Okay.
yeah. Yes, he wants you. He's like, I want you at home with this drunk, not out with the other ones.
Right. Yeah. Not strange drunks. That's
I'm kidding. I'm sure your husband is not a drunk. Just jokes. These are just jokes. I don't want anybody. Yeah, I don't want to be watching my back when I go out to the next meetup.
so. I'm just trying to. And Ellen says, "Oh, cool, Lizzie. I'm sure I'm one of the offenders when I'm there." Okay. Um, all right. I'm starting a new job tomorrow. Congratulations, Lizzie. I'm going to be head of security. Mitch at Old Guy Carnivore's channel because I watched the replay and heard y'all been talking too much. Okay. Well, good luck with that. And thank you again, Terry Sue, for that happy birthday wish. I appreciate that. Um, yeah, last year at this time, I was actually for the past 2 years I was in rehab, so like that's how I was celebrating my birthday. So that's why this is so special to me. Yeah,
Yes, he's off of crack, ladies and gentlemen. So
yeah,
no, he's out of rehab. He's off of crack, and those days are behind you.
yes. I wish I was still on crack, but that's a whole different story.
No.
The only thing though is if I was on, I probably wouldn't even like realize the carnivore. I probably would be like still doing like okay.
Yeah, just put that pipe down and get some beef this ground.
Keep doing it oatmeal. I love it. Sandy says crack is whack.
Well, that's right. Put that crack pipe down and get some beef to ground.
Yes. Amen.
Oh Lord, is Mitch? I've not been on a Mitch live stream in quite a while. As a matter of fact, I think I went on for his birthday or carniversary or something. Maybe I was on with him. Like Mitch, good dude. But I've heard he can be a little let's just say if he was a nun and had a ruler, everybody would know how it would go. He's whacking people over there. I don't know.
So Mitch is a good guy. Um, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't talk religion. And I don't. I'm not very religious myself, so I'd be the last person to talk it.
Yeah, I try to keep it light. I don't
Yeah.
talk religion and politics too much like that. I want to keep it light, keep everybody laughing and smiling. I don't want any. We get enough keto, we get enough carnivore chaos as it is. I don't need to add. We don't need to add any more to it.
I mean, I'll be honest with you, and I'm not really talking religion or politics. I'm just saying my opinion on this one thing. I think people are too open when it comes to that. It's just, like the other day, I asked this guy, how he was doing, and he's like, "I'm doing horrible." I'm like, "Okay, I'm sorry to hear that." And he goes, "Yeah, if that guy in the White House is still going to be there, and we have to deal with that, I'm feeling hard." Like, really? You're like dedicating the rest of your life, But
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just like that's pretty open. It's like,
Listen, people go off the cattle. Let's face it.
can we become friends first before you tell me your political views on the president? It's
Yeah. Um, I
like
don't. My life doesn't change very much depending on who the president. It really doesn't.
it doesn't. It's like whoever's going to be. It's like I'm not.
Now, now, if I was, from Honduras, maybe I would see that differently, and
Yeah,
in the country without documentation. But for
yeah.
most
And
people,
wasn't life sort of like that? I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but like even like when we were younger, okay, wasn't like you had the person that you were voting for, and you dedicated to that person. But whether that person lost or won, whoever became president, you now respected that person as the president.
absolutely, there was more respect for everything 50 years
Yeah,
ago. I mean,
you know,
policemen,
you know
teachers,
exactly.
politicians.
And
People
like
had a lot
that's the
more.
thing I don't get.
Yeah, yeah, no doubt about it. It's not like it used to be. I mean, I
No,
talk about, I've talked to talking with friends. When I was a kid, every boy in my school carried a pocket knife to school with them. Every one of us. We all had a Swiss Army knife or a little utility knife or something. It was very common, and nobody ever pulled it out to stab anybody or threaten anybody with it or anything. I mean, it was a different time. It just was a different day, and you know,
yeah,
uh, everything that's different is not better. Let's just say that movement is not necessarily progress.
no.
I'll leave it at that.
And Ellen confirmed that that's how it was. So
Yeah,
yeah, it's weird how things have changed. And I think we get a little too, like the decision was made. Like that's how I look at it. Like when there's a vote, you know, the people spoke. It might not have been you, but the people spoke, and just accept it. And you just for 4 years at least, you got to accept what's going on. And if you know, I mean, eventually, if you're a Democrat, and the Republicans voted in, eventually it's going to become a Democrat. It's
yeah.
the choice of the world. It's not going to be Republican for the rest of our lives.
The pendulum swings. There's
Yeah,
no doubt about
exactly,
it.
exactly. So I mean, you know, but so far I don't see that much. I mean, I could be wrong. And I'm not asking for anybody to correct me. I'm just saying I haven't really seen anything good. That's that bad that would cause him to be kicked out. Um, but that's as political as I'm going to get. Um, so trying to think of topics. Obviously, so, does anybody have any questions for us? Um, you know, so how's your family doing? I guess is a question we could have. Because
Everybody's
you said
good.
you have that one sister that makes that those really good cookies that like really low carb that she made them.
Yes, this last year, my sister Debbie decided to make. She makes holiday cookies every year, and she asked me what she could do to try to make them a little more ketogenic friendly, and I told her coconut flour and monk fruit extract, and so she did that, and she made some wonderful holiday cookies. They were basically one carb each. Just simple, a simple recipe, just like little shortbread cookies. They were wonderful, delicious, and she noticed a difference in herself as well as the grandkids. After they ate them, the grandkids weren't bouncing off the walls, and even she mentioned like she's like, I had a couple of them. Usually, after I have a few, I want a couple of more. And she's like, but I didn't really feel that way after I ate these. I ate a few and it was fine. And she's like, I think I'm going to start doing it this way from now on. I think I'm going to make them every year, without the flour and the sugar. I'm like, how about that? See, small victory, just a
Yeah,
small victory for the family. No sugar and no flours in the holiday cookies from now on. So, just an example of how you can, I can't get everybody to eat steak and eggs every day or whatever, but you know, make a little change, and every little bit counts. And hopefully, over time, we'll make more and more little changes, and it'll add up to one big change.
yeah. Yeah, I used to actually for a short while I was keto with my mom, and two things I used to make. I don't know if anybody knows this or not. If you don't, you do now. I used to make peanut butter cookies that
Mhm.
was no, it was pretty much peanut butter and I would just put in the cooler and I would put it in like a mold and make like these cookies out of it. So it was really simple to make, really, really simple. Sometimes I'd add some chocolate drizzle, like I'd like melt dark chocolate and put it with it. And then I also made fat bombs with chocolate and cream cheese.
Mhm.
Um, which was and peanut butter too, peanut butter fat bombs and cream cheese fat bombs. Um, which came out really good. I put them like in like one of those molds that looked like peanut butter cups, and I thought it was better than an actual peanut butter cup. To tell you the truth,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know,
There's a lot
you
of there's
know,
a lot of things you can do if sweets aren't really my thing. I don't. That's not what gets me. So
yeah,
I don't have a big problem with sweets. I mean, I do have some ice cream I made a couple of days ago that I'll probably maybe have a little bit of when we're done here. Um, but there's lots of things you can do with, like you said, cream cheese and eggs and monk fruit extract and things that if you're sweet tooth is your Achilles heel. I send my dad some different keto chocolates and things like that because he's going to eat them either way. He's going to eat something. So I
right.
just know I
So
know
be
my
in control a little bit. Yeah,
like yeah.
I
Just
get you.
listen, just minimize the damages. Like if I keep him with some keto chocolates and some allulose chocolates, he will eat that, and maybe he'll leave that Twix and that Snickers alone.
Right.
So,
No, no, actually, I totally understand that
for
concept.
people that have a sweet tooth thing, so yeah, there's again, not my I never was into the keto cookies and muffins and snacks. Like I said, my problem is more rice and potatoes and beans and macaroni and cheese and
Yeah,
stuffing
you're
and
more the you're more
more
the
home
bar
style,
person.
meatloaf, the home style kind of stuff. Potatoes,
Yeah.
man, oh, potatoes. So yeah, so I'm not really a big sweet tooth, but I do like a little bit of ice cream. I make it myself. I gotta everybody knows Dr. Kilt. I do it a little differently than just a little differently than Dr. Kilt's. I use cream, eggs, and I use butter powder. I have some powdered butter that I throw in there, and then
Okay.
Um, the Dr. Bickman has a shake that he a high fat, low carb shake that is kind of like a supposed to be a meal replacement, which it's not. But it comes in chocolate and vanilla, and I'll throw a scoop of that in there. It's only got 2 carbs per scoop, so it's super. It gives it a little different flavor, and the butter powder seems to make it a little creamier. Um, and that's how I make it. I don't really use vanilla extract. Some people use vanilla extract or whatever. And yeah, so I usually will snack on that like in the evenings if I'm feeling like I don't want to really eat anything. I'm going to go to bed or whatever. I have a little ice cream,
Yeah.
on
I
the way.
mean,
And it's, it's not
my favorite cake. Um, you're saying about ice cream. But I'm not really changing the subject, but
no,
my favorite cake growing up has always been one of two. I always loved for my birthday. I always loved ice cream cake,
yeah,
and everything. And obviously with carnivore, I haven't had that in a while. I haven't had cheesecake in a while either. Now I know that Bella just put out a few months ago. She put out a cheesecake recipe that even
yeah,
has the crust that's totally carnivore. And
yeah.
I was going to make it, but I just never got the ingredients. So if I do make it, if I'm making for an occasion, it's going to probably be January 1st during my carniversary,
But
or
even
next year for
but
my next good birthday. Yeah.
even regular cheesecake is not. I mean, it's not high carb,
No.
except for the crust. Like if you just got some cream cheese and a little bit of lemon juice and a little bit of some monk fruit extract, some eggs, and blended it up and just poured it into cupcake, cups or something, I'm sure it would turn out great. You
Oh
know,
yeah, that's there too.
Yeah, and then, like I said, the cream cheese has a little bit of carbs in it, but the eggs and the monk fruit and the stuff doesn't. So, again, if you're a dessert person, if you're a sweets person, if that's what you got to do to make it through, have at it. No
Yeah.
judgment from me. Whatever gets you through the day, it's much better. You're better off with those. Even like the holiday cookies. We did the math on them, and it was a simple recipe. I don't remember everything. It was just like eggs and butter and coconut flour, and I think it's milk, but she used cream instead of milk, and something else that was super low. I can't remember, but and made the batter and baked them, and they were great. Simple, few ingredients, and it turned out to be 1 carb each. You know,
Yeah.
and so for somebody that's trying to stay under 30 or whatever, you can have a few of those, or you can have 30 of those. You got 29 of them. I mean, if you try. And it again, that help helps you get through and make it to the next day. That's minimizing the damages sometimes is a big deal.
Yeah. I mean, I myself, occasionally, like like I've said, I live right above a chocolate shop,
Yeah,
and sometimes sometimes I will get a craving, but usually I hold off. When my
yeah,
sugars are really low, then I might sometimes I'll get like a fudge covered Oreo, or I get what's called a non. I don't know if anybody knows what they are, but they're called nonpareils. They're about this big. Let me see if I can get my hand in there.
yeah.
You know, and they're like full of like those hard sprinkles that you see on ice cream sometimes, like you can add to your ice cream. And I would get like one of them, and they would not charge me. They'd be like, okay, like, yeah, we're not going to charge you the like 15 cents that it costs for us to give this to you. And but it's very rare, But
What you
and
need
that's
to
pretty
do?
much my like. I just need to take like if I have a
Yeah,
craving, I just need to taste. I don't
yeah,
need
yeah,
to. I don't need to like, indulge in like this whole big thing.
yeah. Sugar-free
And
whipped cream is really cool, and even whipped cream and sugar in its traces, but sugar-free whipped cream is cool. What you need to do is get on Amazon and get you a nice 1 pound bag of allulose and monk fruit, and take it
right.
down to the candy shop and say, "Hey, I want you to make a batch of chocolate with this." And
Well,
I
you
will.
know what? If I'm sure if I paid them, I'm sure they would make whatever I ask.
Yeah, it's
You
like
know,
maybe with
it would just be a matter of, I mean, as nice as they are, they're very nice, very sweet. Sometimes they give me free coffee and stuff like that to come to me.
but I'm
But
telling you,
they're a
telling
business.
you, it might spawn a whole nother line of business from them. Imagine if
Yeah,
they had sugar-free chocolates that really tasted good. There's how many millions of diabetics there are out there who would love to. I mean, you can go online. There's a million of them out there, different things, and they sell like crazy. But being a custom shop like that, they can make their own recipes and
yeah,
do it the way they want to do it. And I don't know if they probably have some type of sugar-free chocolates down there, pretty much everywhere.
they
But what
do, but it's the kind that makes you go to the bathroom very
Yes,
badly.
because they make it with sorbitol and all these sugar alcohols and all that stuff. And that's, yes, it's like a laxative. It's ridiculous. So it's like, but they probably never heard of allulose. They probably never heard of it, or a
Yeah,
monk fruit
yeah,
extract.
you're right. You're
It's like,
absolutely
hey,
right.
make me the next batch of chocolate you make. So, make me a little batch. Yeah, I'll pay for it. Heck, hey, listen, if they'll make it through the mail, I might even buy some and send them to my dad. You know, he would love that because he loves anything chocolate and anything sweet, man. My dad is he has got this yeah, he doesn't have a sweet tooth. He's got 32 sweet teeth.
Yes, all of them are sweet teeth.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He has them all.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I know the owner of the candy shop. This about a few months ago just had a heart attack, so
Uh,
he had to get open heart surgery done.
yeah, listen, he's probably quality control, man. He's got to taste all the make sure the
Yeah,
quality of the product is good and all that.
unfortunately, yeah,
Over time, he's probably eating his weight in chocolate.
yeah.
So it
I
might
mean,
help do him some good too to have some sugar-free chocolates around there.
yeah, exactly. I'm just going to mute this for 1 second. All right. Sorry about that. Everyone, I'm not as bad as I was. I don't know if you remember or not, but even when I was on your, like, I'd have to mute all the time just to cough. So it's like I'm
Yeah,
doing a lot less than. Um, but that's another carnivore thing, you know. It's like certain things aren't going to go get better right away, but
yeah,
I think that I have a lot of improvement that has happened to me,
yeah.
and I'm sure I know you say about like you didn't really. I think there's a lot of things from you too that you probably compared to when you first started years ago.
Absolutely. There's no doubt. My life is so much better now than it was, and even doing things the wrong way, and falling off the wagon and all the different things. My life is so much better,
Yeah,
and like I said, it's just a work in progress. You just keep trying to get better and better at different things. Some things are not a problem at all. That I used to like sugary drinks, for instance. Sugar drinks are literally in my rearview mirror. I don't think about them. I don't desire them. You could be sitting around me drinking root beer, Sprite. I don't want any of it. I really that is something that's fruit and fruit type of stuff. Um, Fruit pies or fruit, smoothies and things like that. That I used to fruit juice. Man, I used to drink a lot of apple juice and orange juice, and I thought it was good for me. I thought I was doing something for
well, we
myself.
all thought that. We all thought that.
Yeah,
You know,
so those things literally are not. I mean, they're not even. I don't care. You could sit me down in front of a gallon of apple juice and orange juice. I wouldn't even touch it. It'll go bad. Now, if you leave a big bucket of mashed potatoes and gravy out there, I can walk past it a couple of times.
right? But
But that
only for so
third,
long.
yeah,
Only
yeah,
for so
yeah.
long.
So it's just like, but uh, um, I guess over time those things will change as well to where I don't even, I'm just
Well,
not.
let me ask you a question. Okay, you get a big say you have a big bowl of mashed potatoes, right? But
Mhm.
you have 10 more people that are in the house. All right. Are you so bad with your control that you would just eat the whole bowl and not and like be like the heck with the other people, or would you be able
No,
to?
no, no, no,
Would you
no.
be able to control
Hey,
yourself? I mean, to me, that's really bad. you know?
no, no, no. It's just like for instance, Thanksgiving is coming up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go down to my cousin's house, my uncle's house for Thanksgiving, as I do,
Hmm.
and it's gonna be a spread. it's gonna be,
Of course.
obviously turkey and things like that, but it's gonna be macaroni and cheese and plenty of vegetables and cranberry sauce and potatoes and sweet potatoes and rolls and cornbread and biscuits and it's gonna be everything and stuffing and gravy and it's like, okay, I can walk past the macaroni and cheese a couple of times, but I don't. But like I said, I don't. I don't even try to do that. I don't try to white knuckle. I have a little bit, and that's it. And I'm gonna go back home. I'm only down there once a year. I'm not. I certainly ain't making it at the house. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things, and I'm not a cook. I hate the whole kitchen area. The only reason I go in there is because that's where the food is. I don't like to cook. I don't like any part of it. I just keep myself alive. I did some cooking videos early, on my channel because people wanted me to. And they're like, when are you going to make another cooking channel? I was like, I've cooked everything I make. You want to see me cook steaks again? You want to see me cook ground beef again?
There's only so much you can do. Yeah.
Yeah, I only make like five things, and I've made all five. So, I mean, what do you want? What do you want from me?
Right.
So, if
Yeah,
I
I
ever do
agree.
something
I agree.
different, yeah, you want to see me scramble eggs? I mean, what? What? Where's the? Now, granted, I am silly, so if I scramble eggs, it would be like none other. There's probably truth to that. People do say that, like, no, I want to see you do it, because you're a moron, and I get that, but yeah, I just don't see what There's no enlightenment in that to me, but uh, yeah, no, it's more and same thing. It's like more what's in front of me. I'm like a dog, man. I eat what's in my dish, you know. So if I'm not going to go to the store and buy it, but
Yeah.
if I'm at
So
somebody else's house and they're making it, yeah, I'll probably have a little bit, you know, but not like I used to, man. I can't even. I was telling somebody the other day, I can't even muster the strength to get angry at myself sometimes when I think about what my life used to be. I mean, I used to eat. I could eat take in 1,000 carbs a day in my day. I could drink 500. So to get upset about a few potatoes or a little bit of macaroni and cheese or something, get serious. I eat
yeah.
less carbs. I eat less carbs in a year than I used to eat in any given month in my old life.
Yeah,
So
and two things. One, we have a question from Jerry. It's actually a two-part question, so bear with me. She's asking Russ, have you made the Chris Cooking Nashville mashed potatoes? And second part of that, has anyone else made them for you?
yeah, that'll be a negative Ghost Rider. Shout out to Chris, good guy. Know Chris, met Chris, great cooking. He, unlike me, likes to cook and enjoys the time in the kitchen. I just keep myself alive. And
Right.
I don't have any kitchen appliances that do anything other than heat. If it requires a mixer or any kind of anything that you plug in and use that doesn't heat up, I don't have it. I just I get no joy from cooking. I just keep myself alive, uh, and I make about 5 or 6 things. I rotate, and I cook twice a week. I make enough to last for 3 or 4 days, and that's how I do it. But my family comes in. When my sister Debbie comes down or my family comes down there, they take over the whole kitchen, and it turns into a home style restaurant by day and the Nestle Toll House by night. So
That's fine.
yeah, that's you what?
No, I'm just like I'm saying. Okay, like
Yeah, so and that's its other problem because I'm not gonna be the kind of I'm not a militant like I'm not gonna be the type that's like, oh, when you come to my house, we're not don't bring that in here, rah rah rah. We ain't doing that. My
right.
nieces, I love my nieces. They have made me holiday cookies and made things since they were little girls. little girls, and now I got one's a sophomore in college, the other's a senior in high school, and they still love their Uncle Russ, and they still like to bake him, and I love it. And if I die with one of my niece's cookies in my mouth, I will be a happy guy. So it's once a year. It's what it
Yeah,
is.
I mean, people don't think about that. It's
Yeah,
like, oh
yeah,
my God,
yeah,
they don't think about the concept that it's only once a year that you're doing this. You're not
yeah,
losing
yeah.
control.
Yeah, and it's like I said, man, the day's gonna come when they're gonna be grown and have families of their own. They're gonna forget all about your Uncle Russ. And until that day, I'm grateful and thankful for them and that they would want to do that for me. And so, yeah, when they come here, they have fun and uh, I have a snow cone machine, I have a popcorn machine, I have a PlayStation, I have all stuff for the kids. They love to come to Uncle Russ's house, and you know, and as long as they're like I said, the day's coming. They're so big now. A lot of them are so old now. It's like they're in college and stuff like that. And the day's gonna come when they won't be around. So I think anybody that has
Yeah,
kids or has kids that are close to them know that day is coming when you ain't gonna be able to find them. So
yeah, that's
just
where I'm
be,
at.
yeah,
My niece and nephew. My niece right now is in France,
yeah,
for college, and my nephew just graduated high school. So very proud of them. And I'm saying that because who knows, they might be watching right now. So
sure, yeah,
yeah, definitely.
that's great.
You know, so um, yeah. So I mean, like it's funny too. Like when I get my like go to my sister's, that's when we would have like the carbs and stuff like that. 'Cause that's what my sister has for Thanksgiving, Easter, whatever. And I try to like I put like 90% meat on my plate, but every once in a while I might put like one spoonful of like something like you
Yeah,
know. The only time I wouldn't do that is if it's something like I would normally love, but I would be like it's kind of a 50-50 shot that this could be stale or no good. So why would I want to waste my time with that?
yeah.
But, um,
I mean, a lot of the stuff that I like is whole food. I like
yeah,
vegetables. Like rice and you know potatoes, sweet potatoes, beans, and things like that. I mean, those are whole foods. They're not processed foods or junk foods, things like that. Not that it's. I mean, it's marginally better, I guess. It's better to have a potato, I guess, than a hot pocket or a pop tart. Um, but it's still not something that I eat normally. I have not yet gotten to the place where I don't want to eat it. I just don't regularly. You know, Unlike other things that I don't want. Period. I don't care. They could put a 12 pack of Coke in there, and it'll be here next year when you get back. I won't even think of it. You know what I mean? It's like, and that's a beautiful thing that I've overcome certain things that aren't an issue anymore. So you just keep fighting, keep going, and eventually, I think a lot of the other things won't be an issue either.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I had a thought in my head, but I guess that's one of the signs of getting older. You kind of like
Yeah.
forget them as you speak. So if anybody else has had that happen to them, I know Rick probably hasn't because he's been carnivore for so long. So you know, um, trying to think. Uh, this is my life.
There you
um,
go.
yeah. Um, so So how did you here's an interesting question. How did you meet Laura and Rick to bring them onto your like have them be on your channel?
Um, I met Laura originally. She was on with Robin Heron and G Brown on a show. I think they called it Meaty Mondays or something like that. That was a couple of years ago, and Robin had I think had told me she was a fan of me and a fan of the Reverend, and so we just kind of struck up a friendship from there, as I recall. And she would comment on the channel and different things like that. So yeah, and she was really just a super cool person. She's just the best. She's just such a cool person. I love her to death. Um, and then Rick, Rick is everywhere. Rick is, you know, um, in the space a lot and been on a lot of different channels and a lot of different live streams and things like that. And so, I thought every time I was on a live stream with him, he was funny and interesting. And that's exactly what I want on the Keto Cookout. So, I asked him to join up with me on that. Like, hey, man, we just like to have fun and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, so that's how
Well,
I.
I mean, I think they're both very good choices. I think that you were very. I think
Yeah,
that was a smart.
Laura's
I
is
think that
funny
was a
too.
smart
She's
move. Whether it was
Laura,
on purpose or accidental, I think it was a smart move.
and then shout out to Nurse Kim too, who's kind of not in the space anymore. She was also one when we changed the format of the show, and Adam was too busy to do it with the humanity stuff and whatnot, and he was doing the movie and all this stuff. And then Ollie, same thing with her. Her job changed and all that. She couldn't make the time slot anymore. So I was going to stop doing it. I didn't. I did not want to do it alone. I have no desire to come on a live stream by myself. So um, it's like if I didn't find people to come on with me, I wouldn't do it. I will not. I will not do the keto cookout by myself. If I can't get people to come on with me, it's just not my thing. I mean, God bless those guys that come on and do their thing by themselves. I am not interested in that. I've always been kind of more of a team guy, ensemble guy. I like to be part of a crew. I don't like to be the king and all that stuff. So, yeah, but Nurse Kim is a sweetheart. I still talk to her. We're still friends. She's not really carnivore anymore. She's more just kind of keto now, and she feels a little better doing that. And so, yeah, I'm all about it. I'm all about people finding their way, finding their health wherever you're at on the scale. Keep your carbs low, your proteins and fats high, whatever that means to you, and try to find good health and try to find where you're comfortable and what you can sustain. Uh,
Right.
but
Right.
so yeah, so I think she might still do a
Yeah, I
couple.
thought I thought I saw her on something.
Yeah,
I never saw her. I never. I don't think I ever saw her on your channel, but I think I saw her on
yeah.
something.
Yeah, she did the
Um,
show with me for probably 6 months or so. It was a rotation. It was her, Laura, and Rick, and then she kind of got totally out of YouTube and social media and all that stuff. She really doesn't do much of that anymore. And I think she still has a channel, but doesn't do very much with it. And I understand that too. It's easy to get burnt out, you know,
yeah,
social media. If it's it's definitely easy to do that, and that's part of the reason too why I do it the way I do it. I just do my live show once a week. It's fun. It's it's with the family. It's that it does get to be a lot when you're doing. I don't know how Carrie does it. And some of these other guys that are constantly putting out content just every day, churning. It's live stream after live stream and interviews and it's a big commitment. People have no idea how much time it takes and all the editing. I don't know if he edits himself or maybe he has the girls maybe help him with some of that. I don't know,
yeah, I'm
but
sure he's got help somewhere. I know
yeah,
he said he does his own moderating when it comes to the live portion of it,
yeah,
but still, I mean, probably like you said, probably for the videos and stuff like that, he probably has a lot of help with that.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm
So
sure.
the
You
live
know.
streaming, you don't really have to edit that stuff. That's the
No,
reason.
well, it's live. It's like
Yeah,
we're not editing right now. It's
exactly. And that's why a lot of people do the lives because they don't know how to edit or they don't have the time to edit, so they just do the lives, and that's a big part of for me as well. Fortunately, I don't have to do a lot of editing. Usually, when I do my videos and even the Reverend videos, I just hit it. I hit the camera and go. And but I don't know how to describe it. It's just kind of natural for me the goofiness and stuff like that. But other people, it's not so much. Maybe it doesn't come as easy, and so they cough and they sneeze and they and they pause and they stumble over their words, and So there's a lot of editing, and interviews the same way. When you're interviewing people in a recorded interview, some people are really good and get their thoughts out precisely, and other people ramble and they're all over the place. And so editing those videos and and people have to get up in the middle of the interview. Oh, my phone is ringing, or this. It's like it's cool
Yeah.
that you can do it at your schedule and on your time frame, which is a cool thing. And it's not rushed. You can edit. If it takes you a week to edit it, it takes you a week to edit it. It takes you a
Yeah,
month.
there's a lot of people that do that,
Yeah, yeah,
they do the recordings and stuff. Matter of fact, Dave was asking me, is he going to be live or on recording? And I told him live.
yeah,
So I don't know if he if he was disappointed or not, but
yeah, yeah.
because he does recording, I know that,
It is a time commitment, and it takes some work and time. And it just depends. Some people are easy to edit. Some people are tough to edit. It's like, but it definitely takes your time and energies, and um, something that you have to be devoted to, especially if you have memberships and groups, that
Yeah, 'cause you have a certain commitment when you have
that's right.
that.
You have to
Yeah.
do it. You can't just say, I don't have anything to say today. People are like, well, what?
But,
Imagine
like,
that.
why am I paying $5 a month to
Right, right,
you
right.
know,
You haven't made a video in 2 weeks.
uh, yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
it's probably why Mitch makes so many videos, like why he
yeah.
works
Well,
so
the
hard.
but again, does he do live streams mostly, or does he do edited videos?
No, he does videos too. He does both.
Gotcha. Yeah, yeah,
He
yeah,
never does a short. I think there's only one short that he's ever done, but no, he does some pretty good videos.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
Mitch is good at what he does. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, now that you mentioned it, I do remember seeing some of those. There's so many. I'm not on social media that much. Um, Honestly, I come on and do my show, and then
Mhm.
I check my channel to see if I have messages or comments or things. Because I do try to respond to the comments and engage with people there, and I may pop on here and there. And if I see somebody's live that I know, then I don't know, but
Right.
unfortunately, I'm still working. I work into the evenings a lot of times, and so I'm still working when a lot of people are doing their shows, or I'm sleeping. So, like Rick is my guy, but I sleep in on the weekends, and he's 9 o'clock, or whatever morning podcast or stream, and I sleep in on the weekends usually. And same way with Laura, she does like a 5 o'clock thing. I am knee deep in work at 5 o'clock. I mean, there's
Yeah.
just I have
Well,
to.
I've seen that a couple. I chatted with her a couple times
Yeah,
on
yeah. But listen, they know, they know I support them, and if they
Oh
need
yeah,
if they need me to show up, I definitely show up for them. I mean, but just catching it all the time. Yeah, I'm really not on social media very much. I'm really not. Um,
yeah.
you know,
I mean, my biggest problem I have, and I'm hoping that this will be corrected. I don't really edit my videos that much either. Very rarely, but I still have to like watch them and stuff like that.
yeah,
And I did a video today of me walking around 4 times around the track. Now, obviously, I stopped it. I didn't like record the whole 4 times. Can you
yeah,
imagine how long that video would be?
yeah.
And is that you? Oh, that's me. It's time to wake up. I just a joke. I said it last night.
Yeah,
I went took a little nap. But no. So you can imagine how long that video would be. So it was even shortened. It was 55 minutes. But
yeah.
my phone, for some reason, when I put it through all that, it's like we don't have enough storage for you to upload the video to YouTube.
Don't know how to.
So I had it short. So I'm talking on this video. So my only choice was to either trash it altogether, right? Or to do a little bit of editing. So what I did was I used some text, I used some like just imagery, and I showed exactly where I was doing the walking and where each lap was going to be, like with a text of each thing. And then what I did was I just put music to it, and
Yeah,
I sped it right up. So I had to go really fast. I went from 55 minutes down to 7 minutes. So I made it go very fast, but I
That's
couldn't move to it.
yeah.
So,
That's the other thing you could do is you could reduce the resolution. I don't know if you did it in 4K or 2160,
um,
1080 or whatever, but
yeah, I'm not really sure, and it would take me
you
like forever to figure that out.
yeah, it's usually a setting where you can reduce it down to 720 or
Um,
something. Because if people are watching it on their phones, they can't tell the difference between 480 and 720 or 10. They
no,
watch it on a
yeah,
TV or something, or maybe a big computer screen. But a lot of times, it's when people are watching it on their phone or a tablet, and 480 or 720 is plenty great. But a lot of
yeah.
times,
Um,
these phones are recording in 1080, and it makes for a big file.
Yeah. No, I agree, and Lewis is actually right on both counts, just like you said. That everything will be better once you get the MacBook Air. So that is true, and also that he's agreeing with you. The 720p for the content we make is plenty. So
Yeah.
um,
I just use a PC and I use a phone. This is a Samsung Galaxy S23 that you're looking at me on. Yep. So
yeah. I mean, a lot of people have told me that this is, including Alia and Dr. Kiltz, that what you're seeing me on right now is pretty good. And this is my
yeah,
phone.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know.
Great. You look fine. You got some light and stuff there. Yeah. I've seen a lot worse. That's for sure.
That's what I've been told. So,
Yeah.
and this is not a good phone either. This is not like a top
Yeah.
of the line like iPhone. This is like a cheap brand of Android. It's
Yeah. That's something. It just doesn't need to be like you said. Like I said, for what we do, I think I'm at 1080 with this phone. I think if I look at my settings, but I could back it down to 720. I'm sure if I wanted to, it probably wouldn't be a difference, especially for people who are. A lot of people don't even watch my content; they just listen to it. People I hear all the time are just, they just listen in the background.
um, that's a good question, Lewis. I'm not sure. I just wanted to, like pretty much like how my most of my lives are. It's just I'm just doing it in celebration of my birthday. But I don't think there's really like a theme or anything like that. Like you don't have to like dress up for it or anything. Just come as you are. And you know, I mean, I guess I had a whole year to plan it, but but actually, with me, I'll be honest with you. I have no idea if I was going to be if I was going to be. I didn't think I was, but you always like you never think you're going to be in the rehab or anything, and then all of a sudden something happens where you go into. So I guess I had that fear that I was going to lose another birthday. Um, yeah, and be like, oh, am I going to have that birthday cake at the? And I'd be like, no birthday cake for me, because that'd probably be even more poison. Oh boy. Um, and Sandy's scaring me right now, saying that she's going to wear a birthday suit to my party. So,
Hey, listen, Sandy's been out there eating bacon and drinking sparkling water. Man, she's ready for a good time, baby. She ain't listen. She's Don't threaten Sandy with a good time. Sandy in between Sandy and Jiffy, buddy. Woof. Yeah,
uh,
you ain't seen a party.
and what makes it so sad is Sandy's supposed to be my carnivore mom, so that's really
Yeah.
creepy.
This is hey, how you think you got here? Sandy knows that this is you got kids. You got some kids. You had a good time at least for a couple of times anyway. Yeah. Come on out to Lake City, boy, and get a good. She'll show you how to party.
uh, yeah, I would. Um, Jerry says pro steak, anti cake. Hey, if the cake is made out of steak and bacon, I will definitely eat it.
There you go.
You can call it whatever you want. You know, it's funny. I had my. I don't know if I had it at the Boston meetup. I know I had picanha for the first time, but I'm
Yeah,
not really sure if I had ribeye. And you know, being like somebody that can't really afford anything really expensive, most of my steaks are like London broil or like
yeah,
and I just add butter to it or chuck steak,
yeah,
stuff like
yeah.
that. I really didn't. So for the first time, I spent it was about $35. I got the ribeye at like where I walked to. I walked to the deli, and I know Jem was asking me how my tomahawk was. Unfortunately, I didn't have a tomahawk steak because they didn't have tomahawk steak there.
Mm.
So I'm going to try to get it for my anniversary. I love tomahawk steak, that I've had before, and I I basically but when I had the ribeye, I'll be honest with you, I liked it. Don't get me wrong, I loved it, but it didn't like it enough for it's like to cost me $35,
Yeah,
and
yeah. I have a, yeah,
like it was like it wasn't like such a great taste that I was like oh my god, and I know
yeah.
ribeye is like the choice for a lot of people, but it's
Absolutely,
just
it's not even close. It's my favorite cut as well. But I wait for sales. I don't buy it. Now you said $35. Is that what it was for the restaurant? That wasn't what it cost for the steak. I mean, you
yeah,
were
no steak.
where was that? Oh, you were eating out somewhere.
Well, I got it from like there's a deli right by me, an Italian deli, and they had it there, and it was about a
How
pound and
heavy
a half.
was it? Okay, a pound and a half. Yeah, I was
Yeah,
going to say it was choice or prime.
it was choice.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, around here, um,
I mean, I
Costco
probably
has
spent more than I was supposed to, but at the same time, it was either doing that or not doing anything. I couldn't concept not having anything. So
Yeah, I around here Costco has the best everyday prices, but they never have sales. But there's other stores that have sales, and if you get in there and you troll for meat like I do, you can get stuff marked down for quick sale and stuff. But I don't have a single. I've got ribeyes in there, bone-in ribeyes. Everything's choice. I don't have any select meat. I got ribeyes, I got picanhas, I got T-bones, I got porterhouse. I had never have not paid more than $10.99 a pound for anything.
yeah, you're making my mouth water, by the way.
Yeah, I just
Uh,
wait. I wait for the sales. Now around here, picanha is under $10 a pound all the time. That's a normal price. Um, but the other ones are 15, 16, $18 a pound um, normally. But I just wait, and I don't care how long it takes. It could be 2 or 3 months, and when I go, I load up. I mean, I hammer them and stack it in my freezer, and I'll just eat ground beef and stuff like that until they go on sale again if I run out. But I haven't fortunately run out, and I just I don't eat steak every day. I don't even
no,
eat steak every week.
yeah. I
Um,
mean, on the normal every day, I will look for sales and stuff like that. Like
yeah,
how I do, I've mentioned this before, but how I do is I actually get delivered from Walmart because there was a time when I
right,
couldn't go to these places,
right, right.
and I get deliveries and I just get the boxes of burgers. It's the
Yeah,
100% beef and stuff, and
yeah, yeah.
I did that. But then anything that's a weighted item, that could be a different like weight price and stuff like that. I don't get it at Walmart because I made this example. Like if I say I buy like a steak and I find a steak and it's $10. Make it easy math, okay? And I decide to buy 10 steaks, so it's $100, right? So they don't charge me $100. They charge me like $230.
Oh,
Like
it marked up.
they up the price so much that I can't get anything else.
Right, 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 right,
You
right.
know. So what I do is I get all the stuff that's non-weightable delivered, like the eggs, stuff like that, things that are that I can get in bulk, and then I'll take if I have enough extra money, then I'll take an Uber to the close shop right, and I will. That's which is like $10 each way, and then I'll take $100 and I buy $100 in steaks. So whatever they are, and I just look at the prices and see which ones I want. You know, but
Yeah.
this
Oh,
was a special occasion, so I wanted to get something good. So and I thought to myself, I'm like, like the deli is a really good deli, but obviously they're expensive. It's a specialty deli, and I mean, other than the ribeye, I also got a pound of roast beef, and it was like $21 for a pound of roast beef,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
to me, that's a lot of money too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I totally agree. Well, you have to, at least around here, I had to just put my detective hat on because you would think Walmart would have the best prices, but they don't.
No,
And they may have the best prices on some things, but not on meat. And around here, we have Walmart and we have Publix and we have Winn Dixie and then we have Costco and BJ's and that. And like I said, just everyday price, Costco's the best, but
yeah,
nothing's on sale. But if you wait for sales, you can get much better price. Publix's way is crazy high, and Walmart is higher than Costco. I guess they probably do have sales a little, maybe a little bit more, or marked down meat. When it gets, if you catch them at the right time, you can get some stuff marked down. But I found out, and I don't shop at Winn Dixie. I mean, I don't. I didn't normally. I always bought everything from Costco. Um, but I found out through just busting, my hump and research and just checking, and that they were so much better prices on meat. And that's really it. They have the best prices by far on meat. Everything else is overpriced. So I just get meat from there. I
yeah.
get
I
my
mean, I
I get my eggs and cream and different things like that from other places. I get my big legs of lamb from Costco. I get my ground beef from Costco most of
right.
the time, um, and other things from there. My mayonnaise and the different things I use. But meat, I get virtually all my meat from Winn Dixie. So
Yeah.
I'm guessing it's probably the same in your area. You got two or three different stores. Walmart is probably not the best price. You may have to go
No,
down.
I mean we do have other stores, and as my life gets, and it is. I mean,
Yeah,
it's not just my health that's getting better. It's also things around me that are getting better.
yeah,
And
yeah,
give you an example. I'm going to start. Like I'm actually starting next week. I'm going to start work. I was normally working 12 hours a week, and it's going to now raise to 18. So that's getting better. That means my income is going to go up a little bit.
right, right,
And starting in January, I'm going to be starting the Ticket to Work program, where I'm going to start being able to work even more hours and build
right.
myself up to full time and get rid of my benefits altogether in a
Yeah,
slow process.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
moving up. But the thing is like we don't have Winn Dixie or Publix, but
yeah.
we
There's
we do
something.
have a Costco. We did have a BJ's, but I don't know if we do anymore. I think that was closed down, but I'm not sure. Um, but the closest one is probably about in terms of price, it's probably about 25 to get to by Uber. And the problem because
Yeah.
Costco doesn't like. Well, first off, I actually get EBT right now. Now that's going to probably end once as I get better with my work. But right now I get EBT, and I'm taking advantage of it. No offense,
Mhm.
while
Yeah,
I
yeah,
can.
sure.
And I basically trying to think of the wording. I basically you know, I would go to Costco because I agree. I think the meat's there. I would be able to, and I would get better knives and stuff like that to be able to buy the roast and cut it up into steaks and stuff
Mhm.
like that. That's what I would love to do. But it would just be too far. $25, and that's a lot to bring with me. Like normally, even when I go to ShopRite, I bring like 4 bags if I can't carry it myself.
They don't deliver like
And
around
Costco would be a lot of
Instacart.
food.
Instacart doesn't deliver from Costco.
Costco does deliver, but I think they only deliver if you spend so much money. I think you have to spend like almost like a business account. You have to spend a lot of money in order to get them to deliver. Like it
Well,
has to be like close
I,
to like $400 or something like that. So
not
I
here.
guess,
Not
yeah,
here.
well,
It's through Instacart. It's not direct
yeah,
delivery from Costco. So you may check on that because
Yeah, I could do some deeper
around here,
research and stuff
I could
like that.
order I could order a dozen eggs if I want to. I mean, they're going to charge me a delivery charge and
Yeah.
stuff like that, but there's no minimums that I'm aware of in my area, and I'm in Jacksonville, Florida. But and I did find that one thing it's interesting. I found out after I've been ordering from Costco for about 2 years, I was not a member of Costco. I was ordering through Instacart, and you didn't have to be a member to order through Instacart.
That's
Well,
interesting.
yeah, well, but trust me, you don't want to do that because
Okay.
I found out through a backhanded kind of way that if you are a member, you put your membership number in the Instacart account, you get a different level of pricing. And I bought my membership; it cost me $125, and I put that number into my Instacart, and on my first order, I saved $60. That's how much they were marking things up. Just my regular stuff that I always ordered. So, it's definitely worth it. Plus, you get a 2% rebate on everything that you spend at Costco. At the end of the year, they send you a check with 2% rebate. So, but you may check into it and see if you may
Yeah.
not need you may not need to have a minimum for Instacart.
Okay. I
And
mean, eventually I will. Eventually, I
yeah,
will get a car, and
yeah,
I know I have a hard time driving, but I can drive.
yeah.
It's just very hard with this foot, so I'd have to make sure. Because believe it or not, the shoe falls off when I'm driving.
I can understand, man. The cool
So,
thing too, like I mean, they have a lot of different other meats, but I get my big legs of lamb that I really like from Costco. It's like it's about the size of a football, and it's
mhm.
only like $6.99 a pound. It's not very expensive,
No.
and it's better. It's 10 times better than roast, if you ask me. Like if people buy roast or whatever, man, I would drop that leg of lamb on the floor and pick it up and eat it before I eat a roast. I
Mm.
mean, it's 10 times better, and it's not like I said. It's only $6.99 a pound, at least here. Like I think everything out where you are is a little more expensive, but
I like lamb. I mean,
yeah,
I'm not. I like my beef. I like my steak. I like my lamb. I like all of it. Like I
yeah,
like to
yeah,
have. To me, that's my variety right there.
sure, yeah, 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 yeah. No, I like different things. I'm gonna probably make some shrimp and stuff. I think maybe some shrimp and um, maybe some salmon or something like that. Maybe this week. I do a rotation too: beef, lamb. I got steaks. I got ground beef. I got oxtails. I have 5 or 6 things I just kind of keep in a rotation. Then I always have beef sausages, and I just wait for stuff to go on sale, man. Like right now, they got buy one get one free on fully cooked bacon. So I bought a bunch of that. It's pretty expensive normally, but when it's half off, and it's good. It keeps, I can throw it in the toaster oven or whatever. I can take it with me if I'm going out somewhere. It's very handy. You can use it as a snack. You can eat it for breakfast. You can do a lot with it. So,
So,
yep.
well, this I had a lot of fun, Russ. I do appreciate
Well, I'm glad, man. I hope I didn't
everything you said.
disappoint, brother. I hope
You
you.
did not disappoint. I don't think you disappointed anybody in the chats.
Glad.
We do have a couple people that have joined. Mary has joined. Mary Ramos. So hey, Mary, it's always good to see you. And trying to see if there's anybody else. I think we got everybody. I think Mary was the last person to join.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I think everybody else. So I appreciate everybody coming on. I already knew it was going to be a good crowd because look who my guest was. I mean, come on.
Man,
You
listen,
know.
you're
So
you're way too kind, brother. We just try to spread a little joy and a little cheer.
yeah.
And they wanted a happy birthday on the way out. So if we're on the way out, you let me know, and I will cue up the music.
All right. So before we'll end this. Before you actually sing me happy birthday. Just, no, I do love your voice. Don't get me wrong. I always have a weird reaction when people sing me happy birthday. I don't know what it is. Um,
Okay, well, listen, it's keep your clothes on and everything will be all right.
I yeah. Um, Believe me, I do not
Hey,
plan on.
yeah, Sandy says she's stripping off her 90 right now. See, look at that. I told you, Sandy's a good time, family. Boy, you better get out to Lake City and get some of that party.
Oh, Terry B just came in. Teresa. So hey, Teresa, how we doing?
Hey, Teresa.
Lizzie said sing something else. Well,
Okay, they just
you know what? Sing something. Make everybody happy. Yeah.
listen. She's the one that said, "Sing happy birthday," and then sing happy birthday. Now
Well,
she's
she
saying,
wasn't the only one. There's a couple others too
"Yeah,
that said
exactly."
it.
So listen, I ain't trying to get chopped in the throat by Lizzie. I'm just telling you. But
Or
listen,
here, I'll let you. I'll let you. You know what? Here, we'll do
listen.
this.
Hey, I have to sing songs I know the words to, and I do know the words to Happy Birthday. So we're going to do this, and we're going to fulfill our contractual obligations to the family, and we are going to. We are. So, hey, listen. Hey, we are
I
good to
got the
go.
power. Okay.
Yeah, we are good to go. So we'll say happy birthday to Tom. Happy birthday to Tom. Happy birthday to Tom. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Target Prime Rib. Happy birthday to you. There you go.
Thank you.
Yeah, the
Look at
black
me, your face.
you had to kick fuck out the screen. Oh, hey, listen, that's what you got to whatever it takes to get through the day, brother. I'm with you. So there you have it. There you have it. On the least masculine part of the show today. So there you go, man. I hope you have a great day, brother, and many,
Oh,
many,
thank you.
many, many more.
Thank you. So we'll just end it really quickly and just give me a couple seconds, and we'll go from there. So okay, everybody. So we're going to be doing that live in a couple of hours. Actually, less than an hour because less than 2 hours because we were actually on for 2 hours and 21 minutes. So I'd like to say, Russ, that you broke a record, but unfortunately, that's still Gary that broke the record.
Hey, well, he can have
So
that, right? He can have that one. Yeah,
yeah, he did 3 hours and 15 minutes or something like
yeah,
that. So,
yeah. No,
um,
have it. I have no desire to break
so
that.
yep. So live, love, heal, and just like me and Russ, for God's sakes, people, eat the meat.
See you next time.